the positives and the negatives in life. The next day after I won, there were hoardings all over Mumbai. Boys used to say meow, meow because they are cat eyes, right? I developed a lot of inferiority complex. It's not easy to be a single parent because you have to play the father and the mother.
You created this new pageant.
Marvelous Mrs. India.
How has that changed your life?
This might surprise you and many others is that
Welcome to the Suvir Saran Show. Today's guest is a psychologist, an actor, a model, a judge on pageants, Aditi Govitrikar. From Pune to Mumbai and Harvard University and beyond, she's a force to reckon with. Welcome, Aditi.
Thank you so much, Suvir, for having me.
Thank you for being here. Aditi, your story, your journey is incredible. From Pune to Glitterati, how did this happen?
Well, it has been a long journey, although I've enjoyed every single moment and I cherish every single moment, be it a positive or a negative. Born in Pune, brought up in Panvel, which is a small place near Mumbai. It's on the outskirts now. And I came here for my medical studies. I did my medicine from Grand Medical College, JJ Hospital. And I always wanted to be a doctor. So my parents have been very liberal in the sense that they always told all three of us that do whatever you want to do. They never stopped us. And my mother's joke used to be that both my daughters are doctor and engineer. One is a doctor, one is an engineer, and the brother's a chef. So, you know, three different fields altogether, but they always gave us that freedom. So, yeah, I mean, the journey is, like I said, it has been great. I came to Mumbai and then in third year, somehow I switched and it just happened by chance. There was not a single cell in my body which ever said that, oh, I should act or I should model or I should enter the glamour field. Because where I grew up, and this might surprise you and many others, is that I got eve-teased a lot because of my eyes. Boys used to say meow, meow because they are cat eyes, right? I developed a lot of inferiority complex. I was very low
Because of
on...
these eyes?
Yes, because anywhere I went, this
We
was
all
the
want
thing.
them.
So, as a result, whenever I walk with my family, like, four of us have colored eyes. My mom has hazel brown eyes, but otherwise everybody. So I would not walk with them because I was so ashamed. So I used to look down and I used to walk. And then when I started modeling and acting and people used to compliment me and I'm like, no, they're pulling my leg. They're not being true. They're just, you know, it took me a long time to realize that. And well, now, I mean, I enjoy it, of course. I am who I am because of the positives and the negatives in life.
Where in Pune did you grow up?
So I was born in Pune. First 3 years of my life, I was in Narayanpet.
वहाँ की साड़ियाँ बहुत famous हैं.
हाँ जी. Yes. So from there then, of course, like I said, I did my entire schooling in Panvel.
How was Panvel?
It was nice. I mean, besides the eve teasing part, I had a touchwood very happy childhood. Truly enjoyed in nature because we had a lot of space around. We used to climb trees. We had a big bunch of friends, you know, of similar age. So we used to play every evening. And yeah, generally cruised through.
So medical school finished.
Yes.
What medicine did you practice when you did? Or did you practice?
I never practiced. I started doing MD Gynac. So after third year, I got admission into MD Gynac. And however, in third year is when I started modeling, although very small, like a shoot here and there. And then I was like focusing on medicine. I wanted to finish my MD Gynac, have my own nursing home, so on and so forth. And but work just started pouring in. I did not call anybody, but I won a pageant called Gladrag's Supermodel Contest.
It was the biggest thing. Gladrag was huge.
It was, indeed, yes, yes. So that cover, I think, did the magic, and Maureen Wadia, who was the founder of that pageant, the next day after I won, there were hoardings all over Mumbai, she had put. And I was like, oh my God, that's me. You know, it took like a couple of years for me to digest that I was a known person. Because it was never in my plan, right, in my head. As a houseman in a gynac post, you have to deliver babies, and most of the babies somehow come out at night. And then during the day, you're doing rounds with your boss, and there's a lot of work. And here I was going for a shoot. My boss, Dr. Davar, was very kind and she would let me go. But at the end of the day, the seniors, I was putting pressure on them because they had to do my work. So I had to take a break and she said, go for a year and come back. But of course, that year is still, it got extended. So I could never finish MD Gynec now. But I made sure I had my MBBS degree, which actually then led to me going back to studies. So about 8-9 years back, I started feeling that, my gray cells are dying. I felt that I'm not getting intellectually stimulated. Although I'm an avid reader, but that's only that much, right? So I said, no, I have to go back to college and I have to study some more. So I went back, and at that time, of course, I was at the crossroads and I spoke to a lot of people as to what I should be doing. The two choices were psychology and skin. And I said, I know human body. Now let me study human mind. And the second reason for that was Bigg Boss. So I was in Bigg Boss season 3 and I was in for 77 days out of 84 days. And that...
How did you last this long?
I also don't know. There was no plan because I'm not a melodramatic person. And even the unit was surprised that I was in for so long, but I never got voted out. And whenever I did, I was again chosen by the people to stay in. So that intrigued me because there were a couple of friends in the house with me who were supposedly my friends before Bigg Boss's time. And they spoke a lot of nonsense, which I didn't know, but then the Bigg Boss revealed it. And I'm like, wow, how can somebody say such things, such nasty things? And that kind of broke my heart too. I'm like, oh my God, this is what friends are saying, then I don't know what to say about people who don't like me. But that got me thinking too, I know so little of human mind and human psychology, which is why when I was at the crossroads of doing skin or psychology, I chose psychology. And then I went to finish my post-graduation in counseling from Tata Institute of Social Sciences. I did one master's in psychology from India. And then I said, my dream was to do something from an Ivy League school. So I did
Harvard.
Yes, research, and Harvard was what I chose. And in May 23, I got my degree.
Were you one of the older students?
No, there were, the oldest guy is a dear friend of mine called Bill. He's 63. So because it was...
So there's hope for me. Maybe ja sakta hu karne kuch.
You are a professor already. I don't know
what
but
I want to do a PhD.
Always, see, that's the limit we put to ourselves, that at a certain age, how can I go to a college now? Who decides this? And I've always questioned these things. Like, why, when I participated in Mrs. World, I was already married with a child. She was about less than a year. And when I got this opportunity, people were like, Abhi kya karna hai tumko? Abhi to shaadi ho gayi, bacha ho gaya. Now you work now, you're still working. Why would you want to do that? And why do you want to announce to the world that you're married and with a child? I said, why should I hide it? I've never done that. And I said, just because I'm married, does that mean that I cannot participate in a pageant which I want to participate in? I said, that premise is wrong. So let's change that.
So you're a mother?
Yes.
Of how many?
2.
How old
3
are they?
actually, my puppy, he's not a puppy anymore. He's going to turn 6, my little doggo.
What kind?
Shih Tzu.
They're very beautiful babies.
Yeah, he's
and
the best.
You have 2 girls? Or?
I have 1 girl, 1 boy.
How old are they?
My daughter's 23, my son is 18. And
when did you adopted them when you were a toddler?
No. The benefits of getting married young and having a baby immediately.
So Mrs. World pageant,
Yes.
you won it you were the first Indian to win it.
Yes.
What is it about Mrs. World that charmed you, that has endured with you, and that makes you feel it's a good pageant? Because you're doing your own pageant, but let's start with Mrs. World.
So like I shared that Mrs. World was a big deal at that time in India, because at that time women in glamour field weren't even allowed or did not even admit to the fact that they had a boyfriend or were in a relationship. It used to be said, we are just good friends. And here I was taking on the society, so to say, and going out there and declaring that I'm participating in Mrs. World. Fortunately, I won, and that kind of changed, that was the beginning of the change for married women in the glamour field.
You've created this new pageant.
Yes.
And what are you calling it?
It's called Marvelous Mrs. India. And what I have done away now is I want to do away the ageism part. So we don't have an upper limit. One of my participants called Madhu, who's from Gurgaon, she's 72 years old. And just last week, she opened a fashion week and she was a rock star in that show. So I want to do away with ageism because there's a lot of pressure because of social media on women to look a certain type. Like, it really irks me when people say, oh my God, you've maintained yourself so well. What is maintenance? I'm not a car that I need to be maintained, right? I'm a human being. Everybody should be looking after themselves. It's not a big deal. And that word is never used for a man, that, oh, you've maintained yourself so well.
आदमी तो कोई वर्ड नहीं यूज होते हैं.
हाँ, exactly.
आदमी तो प्रोफेशनल है,
Silver
आदमी
fox.
ये है वो है.
So for me, it's, these things bother me, these things irritate me, and I'm like, no, why?
So will you be open to having a pleasantly plump, single mother of 3 who's been divorced, who's struggling to make ends meet but has a dream? Come on your pageant and participate?
Yes, of course, of course. So we don't have any limitations where age, your status, so you could be married, divorced, single for 35 plus who've never been married.
Size?
Size doesn't matter. We are not looking at weight, but through our training, because the minute the girl enrolls and she's chosen after the audition, our work starts. So I do one-to-one session with every single participant of mine. If she is on the heavier side, then we'd look after her diet and her workout schedule as well.
Inspire them to maybe have.
Yes, because there is no excuse, right? Unless you have some medical issue, then I understand.
And
then,
some do.
Yeah, of course, which is why I'm saying that that's fine. So in fact, the winner of season 2 of mine, she has thyroid issues. She is on the heavier side, but she's got a great personality, and she just, throughout the pageant, she was shining, so
And
she won.
Also post menopause, some people gain weight, some women.
Most women do.
Yeah,
Most women.
And it's not always easy for them to bring it back.
Yes.
So you have to be sensitive to that.
Yes, you have to be aware. You have to be aware of your physical looks as well.
And tell me, how much importance should we place on post-menopausal health? Because we break women by expecting them to maintain standards that are unachievable.
Yeah.
And men are having the same breakdowns.
Yeah.
And they're given carte blanche. Nobody talks about their post-menopausal issues.
Andropause. Yeah.
So ridiculous.
Yeah.
So what are we doing to change that? Women are so tough on each other.
It is true. This conversation has started in India a little bit, not too much. In fact, my project in Harvard was menopause. I want Marvelous Mrs. India to start. It's still a baby. It's just 2 seasons.
2 seasons?
Yeah. So season 3 ka work we've just started, and it needs to be a couple of seasons older. Then I can focus on something else, because, well, unfortunately, I'm a generalist, and I have to keep telling myself that I need to focus on one thing, because I like to do so many things, right? I want to do MBA.
You're a Renaissance woman.
I want to do MBA from Ivy League school, but now that again is on a back burner right now.
Go.
No, I need to focus on it. I've done a lot of introspection. I had to get Marvelous Mrs. India to the level where I want it to be, where it has to be the pageant to look at for married women.
You've had these bachas who are 20 plus and almost 20. You're now an empty nester. How has that changed your life?
Well, when my daughter left for Germany, she did her, after 12th standard, she went to Germany. At that time, it was very hard because, firstly, to come to the terms that, okay, my daughter is not going to be with me, she's not going to stay. And Germany is such a difficult country to live in, but she chose it. So I had to support her. That took a long time for me to kind of get used to. Now, I think I've come to terms with it to say that no, they are both fine. I speak to them every day. And my son, of course, he's still not left the nest, so to say, but he is pretty much out most of the time. Again, part of life, and I think there should be a support group, Suvir, for empty nesters, because especially for women who have been only mothers and who've focused on single parents, or who are homemakers, who've been mothers, for them it's very hard, and I see that with my friends. It's very, very tough. For me, what happens is, because I travel a lot and I work outside of being outside of home, it is tad easier. But mentally, of course, I mean, to let that, so to say, cut the umbilical cord and say, okay, my child is completely independent of me now, that is tough.
So you've said something so important and so gracefully, that the homemakers have it tough.
Yeah.
A lot of professional women, when they see a homemaker, a housewife, for lack of a better word, they almost look down on those women. And to me, as a child who's come of age with a woman who stayed home to give me a good life, I look at it as the ultimate sacrifice a woman could make.
Yeah.
My mother was a professional who gave up everything to have her 3 kids.
Yeah.
And I tell her, I said, Mom, thank you. And she said, Baba, I chose to have kids. I needed to do this.
Yeah.
But my sister, she had a child come up to a certain age and then went back to the workforce. It's a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
And we often don't give credit.
No.
What are your views on that?
I completely agree with you. So in my case, it's a similar story where my sister, who's an engineer and she became an actor following my footsteps, gave up working to be a mother or to be a homemaker because that was her choice. She did it. So the beauty of it is, if it is by choice, it's a very different kind of a game. But if you're forced to do something that you're not, then the suppression and then the frustration
and
and
all.
all.
You're not a good parent either sometimes.
Yes. Then that's where it stems from. However, being a homemaker is one of the toughest jobs in the world because you don't even get paid for it and it's a thankless job.
And it's many jobs.
Right?
A full-time
Of course,
husband,
everything,
full-time 3 bachas, 4 bachas, 2 bachas, and your household to run.
Yeah.
It's so many jobs.
Yeah. So I'll tell you a very interesting story. In season 1, I had a participant called Neelam Rani. When I auditioned her, she said, I'm just a homemaker, ma'am. I don't know if I would fit the bill. I said, firstly, drop the word just. I said, say it with pride that you're a homemaker.
I'm a homemaker.
You've brought up 2 beautiful kids because she has 2 grown-up kids. And she dropped it and she was very low on confidence at that time. Today, Suvir, because of the training that we gave her, she has her own NGO because she loves working with stray cats, dogs and animals. Today, she's an established NGO just in a matter of 2 years. So it's been an amazing journey. She's of course in touch with me and she organized a yoga camp with puppies.
Ooh.
Yeah, so she's doing those kind of things and flourishing. And that is what gives me so much.
And done by just a housewife.
Yeah, I'm just a housewife, ma'am. So, one participant, 72-year-old, she's like, but ma'am, it's what will people say? Why am I participating in a beauty pageant at this age? So I said, you turn around and say, why not? Why are you asking why? Ask me why not? Why shouldn't I participate? What's stopping me? So, that kind of insights, if you start training people with. And the other training that I speak to my participants is about boundaries. Because in India, unfortunately, we don't have that concept of boundaries. And a woman, especially a woman, to say no. And I had to learn it the hard way, to be assertive, to be discerning, and protect my time and me as a person. I still find it difficult many times, but that is a conversation that we don't have openly. People don't even, what do you mean by boundary? What is a boundary? So interesting conversations that we have with the participants for them to get the insights of life.
So pageants are, in many parts of the world, are now a thing of the past.
Yeah.
We look at them as these stereotype builders rather than busters.
Yeah.
And we create myth out of nothing.
Yeah.
Why a pageant at this age? And are you charging money? Are you all bought? Can people buy their way into this? How honest is your pageant?
Right. So that's a good question.
There's scandals within pageant.
Yeah, of course. So, I won in 2001, after which I was invited to judge many beauty
And you've
pageants.
judged many?
Many. And today, I think there are 50 plus pageants for married women only. But unfortunately, it's become a business, and I'm not saying it's wrong to do it as a business, but it has to be a win-win. Here, what happens is, A, the crowns of a sale, B, a big amount of money is charged for entering the pageant, and not enough is given back. Like the woman does not get any training worth mentioning outside. That's what got me to think that, I can crib about it or I can do something about it. So cribbing to mujhe nahi karni thi. So I said, okay, now I need to launch my own pageant after so many years. That was the aim, or that was the push that I got, that no, I want to start my own pageant, which is why I started it.
Femina Miss India, the pageant, couple during the lockdown brought me in as a nutrition expert for their contestants. Vandana Luthra of VLCC, they support the Femina, sponsor it. They brought me in. And I realized I had to talk to these ladies and give them a little advice on their journey on nutrition. Do you do something like that?
Yes, we do have a nutritionist on board. So you're right that a beauty pageant, and I've been struggling to change the word. But what happens is today, to bring people in, to bring women in, I have to use that word. But eventually I will shift it. I will change it to something else, because at the end of the day, mine is not just a pure beauty pageant. It's so much more.
Well-being, wellness.
Yeah. Very, very nuanced attention has been given to every single thing, where it's truly a holistically transformational program. So we have spirituality, we have yoga, we have nutrition, we have time management, stress management. So the mental part or the intellectual part is also taken care of. I had a reading coach who came and spoke about books, and women loved it. I had a lady who's very good in her field, Megha Pandit, who came and did a financial health. And there were so many questions, because what one doesn't realize is that I don't know about abroad, but in India, a lot of women are not even aware of the instruments that are available to invest. So women are good at saving, but you have to also grow the money, right? And what are the modalities that are available?
Incredible that you did that.
So we did that. So it's a pure transformational program. Of course, like I say to my girls, that it's a buffet. What you take is your call. So we are here, we are offering you so much, but not everybody reaches at the same.
Everything.
But that's because the starting line is different for everybody. So keeping that in mind, I'm very proud of what I have created, but now it is all about, people should know about it, because people think, it's just another beauty pageant, but it's not. So that's the struggle that I am going through right now.
So you're a single lady now.
Yes.
How difficult or easy is life for a single woman in India? Because I've lived in America for 32 years.
I don't call myself as single lady. I call myself as a single parent. I prefer that.
Why? What's the difference between a single parent, single woman?
Because I'm not single in that sense. I have a partner.
And
I have a partner. But single parent, I've been a single parent since 2010, and it's been tough. It's not easy to be a single parent, because you have to play the bad cop and good cop. You have to play the father and the mother, and kids know that, okay, this is how it is. And of course, kids are smart today, right? Yeah, always been smart. So, it's not been easy, but then again, that's the journey that I have traversed. And today I'm a happy mother. I love reading. I love my children. I have been so busy traveling because of work that it's been fine.
What do you read?
All sorts of things. So earlier on, when I was a child, I read a lot of fiction. So finished all the Nancy Drews, Hardy Boys, Enid Blyton, all those things. Then I moved on to Dan Brown and Dick Francis and those kind of fiction. Now I hardly ever read fiction. Now I'm more into business books or self-help or psychology or, those kind of things.
Are you practicing as a therapist or a shrink? But you do it through your work too.
Yes.
You are?
Yes.
And you have clients?
So, yes. So how I have divided it is that I do a lot of corporate work. So especially during COVID, I did a lot of group sessions, followed by I has to give them 20 hours or 24 hours where the employee could book one slot with me for 1 hour. And the guarantee was that whatever they share with me in those 24 hours, like 1 hour each, that would not go back to the management, so that the confidentiality is maintained. I also have 5 personal clients. I don't take more than 5 because I don't have the time. So I keep it limited to 5, which is 1-to-1, because that is something I enjoy too, and that is what I've studied. That's what I have learned, right? So I do that, and so I practice that as well.
What do you think is the state of mental health in India, especially working with a therapist? I think it's so in trend, on vogue in the US and other countries. We are still struggling with it sometimes.
Yeah.
Isn't it very normal? I have hypertension, I have all kinds of medical issues. I go to a doctor. And if somebody is a little tender and is feeling a little vulnerable, what's the harm?
Yeah.
There should be no shame involved with this.
No. So in COVID, that story changed a little bit. Pre-COVID, psychology or a mental illness or mental wellness was not looked at. it was a complete taboo. But I think in COVID, everybody became aware. And now I think it's a little easier for psychologists and psychiatrists because people have become aware. Now, the younger generation is very pro all this. So I did a series called Mismatched on Netflix. And I was surrounded by these between 20 and 24, 25-year-olds. And they openly used to talk about, oh, my therapist said this. And, she said this and he said this. So now they are having open conversations. But people of my age or a little older generation, they are still like, nahi, pagal nahi hui, why should I go and this and that. Having said that, out of the 5 people I have as my clients, 3 of them are 40 plus. So quietly they are doing it, but it's still not out in the open. It's not like a common place that, if I'm unwell, I will go to a doctor. So if mentally I'm not feeling well, I will go to a psychologist. That is still not, but we are on the way.
What should be the things one should look at for the best psychologist for themselves? How do you begin that journey of finding a psychologist?
See, typically in India, it's word of mouth. That happens. I think one thing which one should look at when you choose your psychologist is degrees. Check where the person has done their degrees from.
And why is that?
Because in India, we don't have any regulation as such. So there are many psychologists who've done like these 3-month program and 4-month program and now have become life coaches or self-proclaimed life coaches and who are doing counseling sessions. So that I think is a bit dangerous. You must check where the person has studied, and normally one doesn't, but here I would advise or suggest to do that. And besides that, of course, in the first session, you have to see what the rapport is, because that becomes an important
So it's
part.
okay to shop around, meet 2 or 3 people and then decide?
Yeah, of course. Why not?
Are you actively pursuing your film career, acting career? What are you doing these days with that?
So acting is something that was always on the side. It was like a side profession and I've treated it as such. I've enjoyed it. I love acting. I love being in front of the camera and portraying somebody else. But I've never focused to say that I want to be an actor. Anything that has come to me, or if I've met somebody and we've had a conversation, then I've always, something that appeals to me, I've always done it. So be it De Danadan or 16 December or Paheli or all these OTT series now, it's always fun to be in front of the camera.
So are we a mismatch to someone on TV?
Tell
me
so.
what mismatch.
I think so. I think the way you're dressed, my God, I feel like,
and I think, look at
I'm the lady in waiting. Like,
hello.
Pankha le lo main.
Is this Donna Karan or Calvin Klein?
It's Calvin Klein.
So 2 of my favorite artists, designers, look how chic you are. When I woke up this morning, I don't know how you would come dressed up. I said, all the Google, Wikipedia photos, you were this glamour queen. And I said, what if she comes dressed as an Indian, beautiful Indian clothing? So I wore this. But in my head, I wanted you to be dressed like this. You're a global
You're
citizen.
looking like a Maharaja.
But you're looking like the queen of the planet. How chic
This
are
is like
you?
a mutual admiration society now.
Chic. Look at just the stitching detail.
The details, yeah.
In that dark grey slate blue. It's so incredible.
Thank you.
And
I
the
love
shoes.
clothes. I love clothes. I've been a clothes horse. I've done ramp modeling for 10 years of my life.
And how you were celebrated as a model.
Yes.
So
So I've really enjoyed that part. But after 10 years, I said, now enough. Now I can't do it anymore.
Tell me about Mismatch. And उसके बाद आपने एक और करा ना with Kusha Kapila?
Yes. Life Hill Gayi.
So tell us both
So
of
these
these.
are the OTT series that I have worked on. Of course, there's been Escape and a couple others. But Mismatched, of course, has been the biggest hit on Netflix.
What did you enjoy about it?
Being with the youngsters, like I said, that they were all between 20 and 24, and a big bunch, not just 1 or 2. The whole fun, laughter, and the way they look at life, it was very refreshing. It was really nice. And the best part was that the production house was one of the best production houses I've ever worked with. They were so nice. And it's the small things. That's what I realized, that it's always the small things. It doesn't matter. A small thing like there was a hamper kept in my room, and for everybody, which had like a metal bottle with the character name written on it, a few nuts, and like a very nice thing. And the treatment and the way everything was pre-planned and organized, it was amazing working with that production house. So that will always be one of my favorite parts of Mismatched.
And Kusha Kapila, how entertaining and amazing is she?
Oh, she is a riot. And that whole set again, it was a lot of fun because Vinay Pathak was the actor there. Divyendu was an actor there. They were the other characters. He's funny. Vinay Pathak is extremely funny. So is Kusha Kapila. And we all used to sit together and eat. And we shot, it was quite a remote area in Uttarakhand. And we used to get the villagers to bring us food. So we had the local Gadwali
amazing.
food, and it was super fun.
They make those dals
Really nice.
grind
Yeah. Amazing food. That was a good, and of course the shooting is always fun.
How difficult do you find this job as an actor? It comes naturally to
The
you.
waiting is what is irritating because there's so much time that is wasted in between shots. So earlier on it was tough, but now I have figured out what to do in between. So I always carry a book, or I'll have downloaded stuff because a lot of times there's no network where we are shooting. So I have downloaded stuff on my phone or on my tablet. So I watch that or make calls if there is network, and work, whatever the other work is, the admin work, etc. That's what I use my time for.
So you live in Bombay, very close to Siddhivinayak temple.
Yes.
Do you visit it?
Yes.
How often do you go to the temple?
Every once in a while. I don't have a fixed date or any fixed this thing because I enjoy going to spiritual places. I love the energy there. And I went to Ujjain Mahakal temple recently. I'm not necessarily a ritualistic person, but spirituality is something that I do follow, or I do believe in. So I've been a Vipassana practitioner since 2008.
How many times have you done it?
Around 9-10 times.
And how many
10
days?
10 days each.
10 days each.
Yeah. And the shorter ones I keep going, like 3 days, 4 days here and there, I keep going for.
And what does Vipassana, what did it do for you?
Oh my God, I have kept my sanity because of Vipassana. So I went for the first time when I was going through a divorce, and that was extremely tough. And today I wonder how I survived it, because you have to sit on the floor cross-legged and you cannot move after third or fourth day for 1 hour at a stretch. They ask you not to move. Otherwise, it's fine. It's not that difficult now. But during that time, it was extremely tough, even to sit still for a few minutes. But since I sat through it, after 10 days, it just allowed me to face anything that came my way. And I realized that this is it for me, because I've done a lot other things also. I've tried transcendental, I did art of living, and to find my path. And I always say this, that look around, see what suits you. Once you find something that works for you, stick to it. This is what suits me. Vipassana is something that I completely am for it. Every single time has been a completely different experience, because again, it's like Bhagavad Gita. Every time you read it, it gives you, it's like, it depends on what stage of life and what mental state you are in, and that's what it takes you to. In Vipassana, it really helps you lighten your baggage and lighten your load.
How?
Because we carry a lot, we suppress a lot. Suppressed emotions will manifest in some physical illness, and I knew that if I don't take action, it's going to come out in a way that I don't want it to. I don't want to suffer. Any event, it's an event. Your response is what will determine how you face it, whether you're reacting, whether you're responding. So that is your call. But to get that kind of awareness needs a lot of internal work. It needs a lot of introspection. It needs a lot of meditation. That is what I get from Vipassana.
You cook?
I do cook.
What do you-
Maybe not as well as
No,
you,
what do you
but
cook? What's your comfort food?
I know cooking. I know basic cooking. Every now and then I'll try different things. I will experiment. In COVID, of course, we made the banana bread, and I made pav, and I tried with wheat atta also, but of course it didn't work that well. But in COVID, I did a lot more cooking than I can do right now. I like to cook once in a while, not the regular everyday cooking. I don't enjoy that.
Do you make misal?
Misal at home, we've made a couple of times, yes.
And you make that curry, that lal?
Yes.
How do you make it?
Well, it's very simple. I use the moong sprouts in that, and then the misal masala you get ready-made.
And North Indians have preconceived notions of what food should be, and they don't realize Maharashtra has amazing breadth of khana. And so what are your comfort foods from Maharashtrian cooking?
See, I like anybody's home food, but comfort food remains khichdi.
Which is very different from North Indian khichdi.
Not the
Medical yellow.
no, not that. But with pure ghee and all, with little pickle, it's amazing.
And you didn't eat meat, na? They were home?
No, I'm a vegetarian. I'm
Yeah.
a born vegetarian. So, in fact, I launched PETA in, I think, 2002 or something with John Abraham.
Oh, we
So
had
when
Bombay?
PETA, in India, when PETA came to India, they had chosen both of us as brand ambassadors because I've been a vegetarian all my life.
And then you have a connection to Milind Soman, I hear.
My first film was with him. He was the hero in that. And earlier on, I did a few shows also, fashion shows also with when he was modeling.
What a journey of Milind's also, no?
Oh, yeah. Super fit. He's crazy fit.
Can you do push-ups?
No, not as many as him. Maybe 2 or 3.
You can?
Yeah,
मैं तो 2 भी नहीं कर सकता.
But that's about it, yeah. Not completely also. I think that should be my goal for this year. So, I believe in setting goals for myself. So this year, my goal is to be the fittest ever that I have been. Because, again, because of age and because of just eating wrong food and timings, etc., I don't feel as fit as I want to. So I'm embarking on a 6-week program very soon, which is going to take care of this.
You told me you're vegetarian.
Yeah.
I was born vegetarian. The India I came of age in, we were mostly vegetarian and very proudly so. I never had to worry about protein. My mother knew colorful veggies, all kinds of fruits, little bit of dairy, and magic happens.
Yeah.
Today's Indians are so dim. The 15 to 30, 40-year-old is protein powder, मुझे protein ये चाहिए. And I'm laughing that I'm the only chef on the Nutrition Advisory Board of Harvard Medical School. They haven't brought me because I look like a Maharaja. They brought me because I bring the vegetarian cooking of India, which is soundly rich in protein and fiber and everything good.
Yeah.
And they want that. But Indians have lost. मेरे को 8 chicken खाने, 12 अंडे खाने दिन के. They're mad. What do you say to people like that? You're vegetarian.
I'm vegetarian.
You go eating protein shakes and protein powders?
No. Although when I do weight training, I do have a protein shake, but pea protein. It's vegetarian.
But
vegetable
stay away from
origin.
it. It's banned in all the right places. Eat peas. Chew them.
Yeah. But I mean, see, in a healthy diet, it has to be a balanced meal, of course, of carbs, protein, and fats, and of course,
And complex
micronutrients.
carbohydrates.
Yeah, complex carbohydrates is always good. Now, unfortunately, in India, what happens is when you're a vegetarian, you do tend to eat a lot more carbs. So, if one is aware, you can have a balanced diet. So, it's not like, oh my God, vegetarian diet is bad or it's not good for you. And our bodies are used to it. Like my generations have been vegetarian, right? So we've managed just fine. My grandmother was 87 and she was healthy and fit when she passed away.
You have to just eat the old Indian way.
Yeah.
We were very sound. Little cheese, little mithai, dahi.
Yeah.
उसमें आपको मिल गया अपना animal protein,
paneer,
paneer मिल गया.
proteins, lentils, pulses.
That. But I don't
which
need
is,
chapati. What you said about the carbohydrates, I don't need any chawal, I don't need any roti.
Okay.
That's only when I go out with friend, मैं एक naan ले लूँगा, bite ले लूँगा. I skip the roti and chawal. I've understood with the brain that these are the bad carbohydrates that you don't need in your food.
Yeah, and more than that, I think it is the refined ingredients.
All
or
the powders and
packaged
stars,
food.
whole wheat chapati. There's no whole wheat chapati. Chapati is a chapati. Don't fool yourself into believing.
Yeah. So I think what one should do is not eat something that is made in a plant, but by
Eat the raw thing.
that is
That's
better.
the whole thing about pea
so
protein.
packaged food is something that you can avoid
So
definitely.
madam ji,
Fresh food.
मेरी बात मान ले, pea protein powder रहने दे. Go eat all the
No,
peas
but
of the
I
world.
hardly, it's not like every single time. Once
you
in a
say
while,
once in a while,
I'll
yeah.
do it.
Anything is moderation is okay.
Yeah.
So now that you've done all of this, you'll do your 6-month journey. Is there something that you've been itching to do all your life that you think you might want to try and do?
I want to do 20 days Vipassana. That's on my... So I have a bucket list, okay? One is materialistic and one is non-materialistic, which is like a spiritual...
So materialistic first before Vipassana. What are those materialistic things you want?
Materialistic thing is that MMI should be a global brand. In India, it should be the
Marvelous
passion.
Miss India we are talking about.
Yes, MMI, Marvelous Mrs. India. It should be the go-to pageant for married women. So that success to make it big is something that is my dream. That's the professional part of it. I want to do one series or one film where I'm the protagonist, like the main character, main lead, because in acting, I think that I've not done justice to myself because I've, again, not focused on it. So one series where I will play one of the main, like the big this thing. Other than I'm always doing guest appearances, right? So that definitely is there. Then I want to have a farmhouse. I want to build a farmhouse. I have the photographs of my dream farmhouse. I have my family has a parcel of land in Karjat, so I want to build over there. It's just by the river, so it's beautiful.
Okay, beautiful around Karjat. I've gone.
Yeah. So I want to build a farmhouse there. I want to travel 50 countries. So I finished 38, 39. So that's one of the things. So I say, hey, list hai meri badi. And in spiritual, in that journey, I want to do a 20-day, reaching to 60 days. Because 60 days, I think there's 90 days, but I'm capping it to 60 days.
If you have plants growing up around it.
So you know Yuval Harari, right?
Yuval Harari, of course.
So he does 60 days every year. And if you see him, when you see his interviews, the aura that man has, it's outstanding. And that I think comes from Vipassana.
So I do 300-day Vipassana. Nobody calls my aura special.
You're a Maharaja. So yeah, that is there. Then I want to do darkness meditation. So it's pitch dark and you go in and even the food and all, everything you have to eat in darkness. So that's there in...
I've been doing it all my life. I'm a Nishachar. My mother calls me a Nishachar.
Okay.
I'm allergic to the sun.
So
and these lights blind me.
Yeah.
I live in the dark. And I didn't know that there's something so special about it.
Yeah. So for 3 days minimum is what they recommend. People have stayed for 40 days in darkness. But after 5 to 7 days is what they recommend, for the...
Let's do it together. I'm very ready.
Done. So there is one in Thailand, one in Germany and one in US. So one's got to select
Let's do it.
So it's amazing. It's like an igloo.
Oof, I'm very ready.
So that's again a spiritual journey. That is the thing. And then to meditate every day, which I have not been doing, but I need to start.
Silent, laughing, which meditation do you want?
Silence. In Vipassana. I want to practice Vipassana every day. Laughter तो ऐसे ही हो जाता है ना दोस्तों के साथ और
पर guttural असली का laughter होता है आपको या fake? Are you acting your laughter or are you really laughing?
What do you think?
Both.
See, the thing is, the best way to know if a person is really laughing or pretending is the eyes. The eyes give away. If the laughter is fake, it will not reach your eyes. So,
true. And your eyes are sparkling.
That's, I think,
you're a happy person. You're a happy person.
Thank you.
So thank you for sharing your journey.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And I wish you continued success and may you go from 60 to 365 days of Vipassana.
Thank you.
And keep flourishing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm not going to let you go very easily.
Okay.
You have to take back some goodies from Amul.
Oh.
Amul, the taste of India.
Oh, lovely.
Has this
Thank
for
you. Thank you.
And I'm a Coke addict. So, I drink Coke Zero. Sorry. But I don't apologize for it. It keeps me going.
Well, one of my most popular ads was Coca-Cola with Hrithik Roshan.
So here you go. A little gift from Coca-Cola for you. Thank you. Thank you for joining the Suvir Saran Show. Our guest, Aditi, was so informative. From Pune to Mumbai to Harvard and back. Her journey has been so inspiring. Join us again and share this with all your friends and loved ones. Thank you.
I am who I am because of the positives and the negatives in life. The next day after I won, there were hoardings all over Mumbai. Boys used to say meow, meow because they are cat eyes, right? I developed a lot of inferiority complex. It's not easy to be a single parent because you have to play the father and the mother.
You created this new pageant.
Marvelous Mrs. India.
How has that changed your life?
This might surprise you and many others is that
Welcome to